Welcome to the Draft Professor. I am joined today by Jordan. Jordan, this is your first Draft Professor podcast. I want to say welcome to the channel. How are you doing this fine Thursday evening?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm really excited. I appreciate you for having me on. Yeah, I'm just excited to talk Panthers football.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing some Panthers mock drafts. Um, and we're doing this podcast. It's the middle of February, a couple days before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So we haven't done any off-season free agency or anything like that. But as the Panthers roster sits now, what do you think they need to do in the draft?
I think the biggest thing that I've noticed, and you look at the Super Bowl, you want to attack the trenches, right? We come in right now, the Panthers. I think we're one of the highest paid offensive lines in football. And that's including Ike Ekwonu, who's probably going to miss, if not all of 2026, he's going to miss a good chunk of it with his injury. We have Cade Mays, our center, is a free agent. And then you look at the defensive line. We have Turk Wharton, Derek Brown, Ashawn Robinson. So I really want to attack those positions. One, to get younger, and two, to get cheaper.
Okay. Well, we are going to be using the Draft Professor Simulator, and we're going to be doing some of the special mock drafts that are built into the simulator. And we're going to be doing Carolina Panthers, and we're going to be doing this thing called the First Round Fanatic Challenge. So this is 5 unique one-round drafts. Do you think most scenarios have the Panthers taking a trench player in round 1, or are there other positions that you're looking at that are not trenches?
I've seen a couple scenarios where a good wide receiver does fall. I'm not expecting them to, but if they do fall, and they're available, I would not be opposed to taking a wide receiver there. Cornerback, safeties, any position in the secondary that really fits Azure Evero scheme. Again, I wouldn't be opposed to that as well.
Okay. Well, round 1 right now went Mendoza, Bain, Maui Noah, Reese, Tate, Boston, Bailey, Tyson, Downs, Woods, Ione, Styles, Delane, Concepcion, Parker, McCoy, Falk, Love. Any surprises in the first 18 picks?
I think the only 2 surprises I saw were the wide receivers. Casey Concepcion going to the Ravens. I do have him as a first round talent. I just didn't expect him to go top 15. And then Denzel Boston. I think he went 6 to the Browns. Again, a first round talent. I just didn't expect him to go that high. But when a player that you don't expect to go that high goes that high, somebody falls, which is a good thing for us.
Yeah, so if the board falls this way, who is BPA for you at 19?
So we have Lomu, Sadiq, Fanu, Howe. Who's below Howe?
Lemon.
Yeah, okay. So in this scenario, it would be Makai Lemon. I have Makai Lemon as my wide receiver 2 right now. So it'd be Makai Lemon.
Okay. So you go Makai Lemon in round 1, the first time.
Yeah.
The simulator immediately starts a second mock, and it snipes the player that you took 4 picks before you.
Mm-hmm.
So if Lemon is off the board, I don't think Keldrick Falk was there last time.
He wasn't. No. I do like Keldrick Falk a lot. Yeah, let's go Keldrick Falk.
Okay, so you're agreeing with the people that have done Panthers mocks before you. So if a player is at the top of the board, it's because other people have picked them for the Panthers.
Yeah.
So for the third mock, Lemon and Falk get sniped before 19.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Love is here. He was not here before.
Yeah. So and on the last one, it was between Falk and McCoy for me because I do think McCoy is a really good player. And in this draft, I don't think there's a ton of blue chip prospects. Jeremiah Love is one of those guys that I think is a blue chip prospect. So I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Love with this pick here.
Okay, so I like that. Lemon, Falk, Love. So we see Lemon, Falk, Love.
Uh-huh.
Snipe before pick 19. TJ Parker's here this time. I don't remember seeing him last time.
Now, I haven't seen him fall to us yet, and he's actually one of my favorite players in this draft. He fits a need. I think he has the talent, so we'll go with TJ Parker on this one.
Okay. Okay, so with the fifth and final draft, Sadiq, Falk, Love, Parker, Snipe before pick 19.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Lomu's here. He was here for the first one, but not the second, the third, or the fourth. Ihenakor and Freeling are also here.
Yeah. What's the defensive line look like?
McDonald, Banks, Hunter, all available.
And edge, I think. Okay,
Howell, Young.
Yeah, I actually did a mock similar to this the other day. I'm gonna go Monroe Freeling here, just because, like I said, I want to attack the trenches, and I have him rated higher than those other guys at left tackle.
Okay, so I'm taking a quick note. I'm dropping it into the chat. So Monroe Freeling was 33rd when we picked him. Right, I'm looking at this 33 right here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pick players in this simulator, they move up the board. So if you look, his grade was a B, but there's a really good chance if we take him again, his grade will improve. So the grading on this simulator is entirely how close was the player to the top of the board.
Okay.
So every simulator has grading. That was what I chose to implement as my grading algorithm when I designed it. And my mother will always tell you that my grades don't matter. That's just the way that my life went. So you talk through 5 one-round scenarios there for Carolina. Any thoughts on like which of these guys would be your favorite player to get for Carolina?
I think the most fun player it's probably between Jeremiah Love and Mekhi Lemon, because they both provide a different dynamic that Carolina currently doesn't have. When Dan Morgan, our general manager, was talking in the offseason, he spoke about home run hitters on offense. We currently don't have those. I know Tedero McMillan won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jalen Coker had a breakout game in the playoffs. But we don't have a guy that can take a 5-yard slant and go to the house. We have a guy that can take a halfback screen or a dump off a halfback wheel and go to the house. And I think both of those guys would provide that immediate impact to us. I think for me, Jeremiah Love is probably a top 3 running back prospect since I've started really looking at scouting back in 2021, 2022 for me. So he's definitely a home run hitter. Mekhi Lemon, again, gives me a lot of JSN vibes. He's one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. So I definitely feel like those two would be fun. For the best pick for what Carolina needs immediately, I'd probably lean TJ Parker. I think we were second to last in the league last year in pass rush win rate as a team. So adding some extra juice along the edge, and I know Keldrick Falk's an edge too, but he just doesn't have the edge or pass rush impact that TJ Parker would have on day one. So my favorite would probably be TJ Parker. Most fun, I'll go between Mekhi Lemon and Jeremiah Love.
Okay. So I like that. Now, I'm always fascinated when Carolina mocks have them take a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Because that would be the 3rd straight year that Carolina took a wide receiver in round 1.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're the 3rd Carolina person I'm having this conversation with, and all of you are more than willing to take a wide receiver in round 1, that goes to say that I have to open my mind. So
yeah, I think if you look back at Xavier Legette when he was taken in the first round, I know Carolina traded up into the first round to get him. I didn't view him as a first-round prospect. I wasn't really upset with the pick. I just didn't view him as a first-round prospect. So in my mind, I don't look at him, even though he was. I don't look at him as a first round pick. Um, so that's kind of where I am, and I know, I think I honestly can't think of another team that took a wide receiver in the first round 3 straight years. I haven't been able to kind of figure that out or see if there is one.
Matt Millen came close with the Lions.
Mm,
That was Roy Williams, Calvin Johnson, and somebody.
okay,
But
yeah,
two of those picks were zeros.
yeah,
Like Roy Williams did nothing for the Lions. The
mhm,
other first round receiver didn't do anything. And then he got lucky with Calvin Johnson.
yeah. So I again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the top of my board. Obviously, I like a couple of defensive tackles ahead of wide receiver at that position, depending on if they fail. But yeah, like if they fall in this BPA, and it also depends on free agency. But I know we haven't gotten there yet. But I wouldn't rule it out completely. I think the only position that I've truly ruled out in the first round is quarterback.
Okay. Well, we are going to do a few more Carolina Panthers mocks. And one of the options on the Draft Professor Simulator is this thing called Fanatic Mode. So we're going to take Fanatic Mode and we're going to bump it up to 8. So that means we're going to do 8 Carolina Panthers mocks. Each mock is going to be 4 rounds. And Fanatic Mode means you won't be able to pick the same player twice. So we're going to get to talk about 32 players that you like for the Carolina Panthers. And you'll begin to see that the simulator learns to snipe the players that you like. So maybe by the 8th, some good players are falling, or maybe by the 8th, you're going to tell me this mock draft is really hard.
Yeah.
So the draft, I'm going to quickly look. It should be really similar to the round 1 that we just had. And a reminder, every player is here because I'm doing these podcasts with, fans of every team. So they're the ones that are putting those players in those spots. So Mendoza, Bain, Maui Noah, Reese, Tate, Boston, Bailey, Tyson, Downs, Woods, Ione, Styles, Delane, Concepcion, Parker, McCoy, Falk, Love. So Lemon is still there.
Yeah.
Is that the pick?
Yeah. It'll be the pick again.
Okay, so if you take Mekhi Lemon in round 1, what are you hoping to accomplish in round 2?
I'd like to get either an edge or a linebacker in round 2.
So linebackers that are here are Rodriguez, Golday. We can look further down the board, but Trotter went 1 pick before you. Anthony Hill went in round 2. And CJ Allen went in round 1.
Okay. I'm a fan of Derek Moore, so I'm gonna go with Derek Moore here.
Okay. Well, this is a great example. So we're gonna go Moore, and he's currently 69.
Yeah.
So I'm taking notes into the podcast chat because at the end we're going to do a little demonstration as to where those guys are on the player board. But we'll go Derek Moore in round 2. So I do like that. Mekhi Lemon round 1, Derek Moore round 2. Thoughts on what you are thinking for in round 3?
So round 3, again, like I said, with the trenches, you really want to go offensive line or defensive tackle if anybody's there that I like.
Who are your 3rd round defensive tackles?
So I like Darrell Jackson Jr. I like him a lot. The kid out of Oklahoma, Holton. I don't know if he's
Holton's
there.
here too.
He's Holton there. Okay, so he's there. And Corleone, I have him as a 2nd. I don't know if I saw his name on there. But I have him as a 2nd round guy. But if he sneaks into the 3rd round, I think he's one of those guys that can definitely stop the run and be beneficial to the team. So, yeah, those are my 3rd round guys. What's the interior offensive line look like?
So Connor Liu, Logan Jones, Keelan Rutledge, Jake Slaughter, Josh Thompson. Are you day 3 on the top 5 guys here? Or excuse me, are you round 3 on the top 5 guys?
So Connor Liu with his injury, I think he could definitely sneak into the second round. So I wouldn't be shocked if he went to the second round. Logan Jones, Keelan Rutledge, Jake Slaughter, have those guys all top 100 players. So um, I could definitely see them all going in the third round. So yeah, I'll with this one, I'll go Connor Liu, just because of his high upside. I think if he didn't have the ACL injury, he probably goes somewhere in the top 40.
I'm with you there. So I think the injury could push him down around.
Yeah.
So Lemon, Moore, Lou, what are you thinking you'd want to do in round 4? And one other point that I'll make is that the players you see at the top of the board are here because other Panthers mock drafters have selected them. So there may be a good player that you like. For example, Corleone is still here.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But that just means that nobody's picking him.
Yeah.
So your call on which player you pick or you like, but there's plenty of players that you probably like that are scattered around the board.
Yeah, I like Chandler Rivers there. I like Harold Perkins a lot. I'm excited to see what Harold Perkins can do at the combine. I think he's an insane athlete. I don't think he's reached his peak as a player, especially at off-ball linebacker. Just being able to change the different schemes that he was in at LSU. So with this and the final pick in this mock draft, I'm going to take Harold Perkins just because I feel like you're getting an insane athlete. You're getting a guy that just creates havoc. And that was another thing that Dan Morgan talked about in his end of season presser, havoc creators.
Okay, so the simulator immediately starts the second mock that we're doing in Fanatic mode. It makes sure that the player that you took in the first one is sniped 8 picks before you were on the clock. So Mekhi Lemon is not there.
Yeah. So I see Lemon's gone, Love, Falk, TJ Parker gone. I didn't take him in the first grouping. Spencer Fano. I know we don't have a need at left tackle or right tackle right now because we still have Taylor Moton. But I know Spencer Fano, and I talked about this today. Spencer Fano has played left tackle. I know he's better at right. My thought process is you take Spencer Fano, you play him at left tackle this year until Icky's back, and then you slide him back over to right tackle when Taylor Moton does inevitably retire, and then you have a top 15 player that you were able to get at 19. So.
Okay. So Spencer Fano in round 1.
Uh-huh.
What are you looking for in round 2?
So basing it off of the previous mock and seeing how guys fell in those, I do like AJ Halsey a lot. I have him as my safety 3 right now. So I'm going to take AJ Halsey and kind of solidify my center fielder for my secondary.
Okay. So Fano, Halsey.
Uh-huh.
And then what are you thinking about in round 3 right now?
It's probably going to be defensive line, edge and tackle for both these next 2 picks.
So Jackson and Corleone are both there.
Yeah.
The edges include Akis, Llewellyn, Barham, and we'll be able to get even more here. So
I think was it Gabe Yakis?
Yep.
Was there. I like him a lot. So yeah, I'll go Gabe Yakis.
So Fano, Halsey, Akis, and then what are you thinking in round 4?
I'm thinking either interior defensive line or interior offensive line.
Okay, so interior offensive line, Josh Thompson, J.C. Davis, Matt Gulbin. I'm curious, what grade do you have on Gulbin?
So I actually just finished up his film last week. My buddy and I were looking at his film. You watch him in comparison to the other 4 starters in Michigan State, and it looks like Aaron Donald versus a JV team. I think he's just so much better than other, and that's no slight on them really. It's just he was just so much better than those around him that he really stood out. And coming from Wake Forest, it was I had some familiarity with him, but he's a really good interior offensive lineman. I think he's got some flexibility. He can play guard, he can play center. So that's another thing that we, as the Carolina Panthers, have coveted over the last couple of years. With Austin Corbett, Cade Mays, Brady Christensen, all these guys are flexible. So getting him in round 4 is something that I'm interested in. So yeah, let's take him. Let's take him.
Okay, and Golden was 118. Again, taking some notes. So we'll take Golden in round 4. So that mock was Fano, Hulsey, Akis, Golden.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're doing the third mock.
Okay.
And it makes sure that Lemon and Fano get sniped before your pick.
Yeah.
So what would you do here?
What's the defensive tackle room look like? I see Katie McDonald there.
McDonald, Banks, Hunter are available. Kristen Miller, some people. I don't know that I've heard Kristen Miller at 19, but I do hear some people putting him at the end of round 1.
Yeah, I've seen him go like 30, 31-ish.
Yep.
And I think that's probably a good spot for him to start. Yeah.
And then wide receiver. So Concepcion is here.
Yeah.
Then Freeling was one of the players you took on the first round challenge. He's here as well.
Okay. I want to take Katie McDonald on this one, just to kind of see how it goes.
Okay, so we go Caden McDonald round 1. What are you thinking you would do in round 2 after Caden McDonald?
I do want to attack the linebacker room earlier on this one, just because I haven't been able to do that. I know Trotter and Hill are both gone, but it's Golday. Yep. Yeah, Golday's still there. And I'm a huge fan of Golday. I think if Golday makes it to us at 51, I think the Panthers should absolutely run to the board. He's insanely athletic. He's got some familiarity rushing from the edge position. And I think just him and the reason I found him actually was watching Corleone's tape. So I just see this 6'4", 245-pound, 250-pound linebacker going crazy all over the field. So yeah, I was definitely intrigued.
Okay, so McDonald, Golday, round 1 and 2. What are you thinking in round 3?
So this guy had a lot of I'm looking at the tight end position. This guy had a lot of hype coming to Ohio State this year, leaving Purdue, and he didn't perform statistically as well as others had thought he would. But if you watch the tape, he was constantly getting open, and when he was targeted, he caught the ball at a high rate. So I'm going to go Max Clare because I think he's going to be a lot better in the NFL than he was in college last year.
Okay, so that's McDonald, Golday, Clare, and you haven't taken an interior offensive lineman yet. So is that where you're looking in round 4?
Yeah, I don't know. Is Brian Parker? Is he offensive tackle in this?
So he's listed as a center, but I can also tell you that there are people that really like him.
Yeah.
So he's probably going round right there, 2.
2. Okay. So if I want Brian Parker
on this simulator, the people using this simulator have him graded round 2.
Well, I have him graded round 2 as well, so I just didn't know.
Okay.
Let's see.
So where are you on Pat Coogan?
So I think Pat Coogan again, similar to the center we took last round. Yeah, he has some flexibility playing guard. I think he was stout in the run game for Indiana this year, and you see it on film. He's just a people mover. He comes in at 6'5", 325 pounds, 330 pounds. So he's got some nice size. And again, flexibility coming from Notre Dame where he played guard, moving over to center and adjusting at an All-American level. So I know he's rated a little bit lower on there, and I tend to try and take him in round 5, so I won't take him here. But I saw JC Davis. Yeah, JC Davis is there. I know he's listed as an interior guy. Watched him a lot at Illinois. Yeah, I'm gonna take JC Davis here.
Okay. And keep in mind that the entire rankings here are based upon Carolina fans' user behavior.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
just because somebody's low, it just really means that they
means
haven't
they're
been
they're
picked
not
yet.
getting taken. Yeah.
Yep. It just means they haven't been picked yet. And you're at least the second person we've done this with for Carolina. You might be the third, but you're at least the second.
Okay.
So, okay. So in this mock, Lemon, Fano, McDonald all sniped before pick 19.
Yeah, I think this is easy. I'm gonna go with Keldrick Falk, top of the board. He's one of the guys I took last time, and that kind of, for me, I think Keldrick Falk has a lot of upside as a pass rusher. I know he's not there yet, but he can definitely get there. I think he's similar to me, like Trevon Walker was coming out in 2022.
Okay.
So and I know he's going to come in and immediately stop the run.
So in round 2, Derek Moore, AJ Halsey, Jake Golday all sniped before pick 51. What would you do?
I like Kamari Ramsey. What are the other safeties on the board right here?
Taff,
F
Husky,
Husky,
Wheatley, Smith. And this is at pick 51.
51. Yeah.
So
So I think,
Emmanuel McNeil Warren
yeah, he's
is
probably gone.
probably
Yeah,
off
there he
the board.
goes. Yeah.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll come back and try and get Zakee Wheatley or Genesis Smith in the third round, because I do like them a lot. What is the interior offensive line looking like?
So
There he
Brian
goes.
Parker's here.
Yes, there it goes. Okay, so let's go with Brian Parker on this one. So
Okay.
far, this is shaping up to be my favorite draft.
So yeah, and Jordan, what I'm liking is that you know which players you're targeting and which round, and you're trying to figure out what round certain players are going in,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Anybody listening to the podcast, when you do this, I would strongly recommend that you try to draft the player in the round that you value them in, because that will communicate to everybody else that there is at least one team that values that player in that round. So, for example, Dante Corleone, I want to get to one of these where we do Corleone in round 2. If that's where you value him, let's get one done where we take Corleone in round 2.
Okay.
So you said safety in round 3. So you said you like Zakee Wheatley?
Yeah, I do like Zakee Wheatley a lot.
Okay. So Wheatley, and he's 120. So we'll do Zakee Wheatley in round 3. So that is Falk, Parker, Wheatley. And what are your thoughts for what you're going to look for in round 4?
So I went edge, safety, interior offensive line. If there's a wide, let's look at the wide receivers.
Ooh, I like this.
4.
A round 4 wide receiver board.
Yeah, Brennan Thompson is a true home run hitter. He's got a track background. Watching him a lot at Mississippi State. I think he was at the Belk Bowl or the Duke's Mayo Bowl this past year. So I was able to see him up in Charlotte, and he's just so fast. He's something that this offense doesn't have, and I'll take him here.
Okay. And Thompson is 113. Okay, so I like that. So a lot of us at Draft Professor, we are early round 4 on Brennan Thompson.
Yeah.
We would question whether or not he would be durable enough to hold up, but the explosiveness you can definitely see on tape.
Yeah, I agree. So, I think when it comes to the combine, he's going to skyrocket. I think PFF has him like in closer to the 5th round. I just think he's going to skyrocket.
Yeah. So Lemon, Fano, McDonald, Falk, all sniped before pick 19.
Yeah, I'm going to take TJ Parker here. Like I said, I think if you look back at TJ Parker's 2024 tape, there is no doubt in my mind he would have went in the top 10 if you just look at his 2024 tape. So getting him at 19 is absolutely a steal.
Okay, so then in round 2, We see
Let's
Delp and Kamari Ramsey. You had said that you liked
Corleone.
Corleone
Yeah.
in round 2. Do you like Corleone over Orange and Miller?
I don't like him over Miller, but I do like him over Orange. Um, I
So,
and I
so
will
my
admit,
advice as the designer of the simulator is take Miller here.
yeah, yeah. If Miller's going to be here at 51, I'm absolutely taking Miller.
Okay. And the reason is again, take the players in the order that you like them. Meaning, if you like Miller more than Corleone,
Yeah,
take Miller once, and then the next time you come in, take Corleone. And what you're going to see is that the draft professor board is going to mimic your board.
yeah.
Kind of
Okay.
thing.
Um,
So this is Parker Miller rounds 1 and 2. What are you thinking in round 3?
what do the cornerbacks look like? I'm gonna really attack defense
Yep.
on this one.
Okay. And then just for the record, like Lou, Akis, Claire,
Wheatley.
all sniped before your pick. And you said you wanted to look at
Cornerback, yeah.
So Keontae Scott's there. Traden Stukes is there. Dalen Everett.
I do like Dalen Everett out of
Thaddeus
Georgia.
Dixon.
I think right now it's between Everett and Chandler Rivers for me. Chandler Rivers, he gets knocked because of his size, but similar to Pons, I think they're just dogs out on the perimeter. I've seen them on the boundary all year, and they perform at a high level. Do I think they can translate to a nickel? Which I'm getting to the point where I'm viewing nickel as almost a premium position. You know, you see it with all these good teams, and they have guys in the nickel that they can throw out there, and he pretty much locks down anybody he's on. So Chandler Rivers here in the 3rd round would be my pick.
Okay. So that was Parker, Miller, Rivers, rounds 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
What are you thinking in round 4?
I'll look at the tight ends in round 4. Just to see what tight ends are there in round 4.
And then in round 4, just for the record, Harold Perkins, Matt Golden, J.C. Davis, Brennan Thompson, all sniped before you're on the clock.
Yeah, I think if Jake Slaughter would have been there and I saw him on the board, I definitely probably would have taken Jake Slaughter. I like Klein. Yeah, I think let's look at the offensive tackles. Emil Wagner, yeah. Yeah, I like Wagner out of Notre Dame here.
Okay, I like that. So that's Parker, Miller, Rivers, Wagner. Okay, so now we're doing the 6th of the 8 mocks for Fanatic mode, where every draft is going to be unique.
Yeah.
So in this mock, you see Lemon, Fano, McDonald, Falk, Parker. All the players you took in the prior mocks get sniped.
Yeah.
So Love is here, and then Monroe Freeling is also here.
Okay. Yeah, let's go Jeremiah Love. I think that's I don't know if he makes it to us at 19, but if he's there, I definitely want to take him just because I feel like he adds a different dynamic and level to one, not only this running game, but also helps Bryce out in the passing game with checkdowns and stuff.
Okay, so in round 2, Corleone is here. Now, it makes sure that the player that you picked last time, Miller, is sniped before your pick. So Jackson's here in round 2. Corleone is here in round 2. The edge board would include like Overton, R. Mason Thomas.
Yeah, I've been watching. I've seen a lot of clips of R. Mason Thomas come up on my timeline over the last 24 hours, and he is just a rocket off the edge. I know he's a little bit smaller, and he's a DPR, but I think every team needs one of those guys. You look at Seattle's edge room, and I don't think there's a true. I mean, people could argue and say DeMarcus Lawrence is a true number 1 edge, but you just look at the entirety of their room, and they have guys like Nwosu and Mafe and Lawrence, and they don't really have somebody that's like a Miles Garrett, but they have a lot of guys that can apply pressure. Derek Hall. So adding R. Mason Thomas to our current young edge room is something that I'm intrigued about.
Okay, so Love, Thomas. What are you thinking in round 3? Like, are there more interior offensive linemen that you'd want to name drop for round 3?
I'm trying to think.
Or is the board clean? Like, and that's part of what Fanatic Mode does, is it might clean your board.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
So like, I don't know that Logan Jones was here before. I don't know if Jake Slaughter was here before.
He was. So I think he went the pick before. So for me, out of those 3, I have Rutledge the highest. So I'm gonna go with him just because he is an absolute monster in the run game.
Okay, so that's Love, R. Mason Thomas, Keelan Rutledge. Mm-hmm. Rounds 1 through 3. What are you thinking in round 4 here?
Either offensive tackle or
any more round 4 offensive tackles like Alex Harkey or Drew Shelton?
I think Jude Bowery and Drew Shelton are guys that I would target in the 4th round. And I know Carolina's already met with Jude Bowery. They met with him at the Senior Bowl. So let's go with him. I know they had some interest in his teammate Ozzie Trapillo last year. So yeah, let's go with Jude at offensive tackle.
Okay, so Jude Bowery there. So I like that, heavy on the offensive line there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done 6 of the 8 mocks. We've got 2 more to go. This is where somewhere between mock 6 and 8 is usually where Fanatic Mode, especially like in round 2, may become challenging. But you seem to be handling this like a champ. This one might be a dream.
Yeah, oh man, I see him at the top of the board right there. He's actually my number 2 player in this draft class, and it's Sonny Styles. And like I said, we have a lot of holes on our defensive front 7, and he fills one immediately. So
okay, so we get Sonny Styles in round 1. Can we do Dante Corleone here?
Yeah, I was just going to say, get somebody like Corleone that can eat up those double teams and allow Sonny Styles to kind of free range sideline to sideline.
Okay. So I was just jotting down in the chat. He's 147 at the time that we picked him. I'm looking at this number right there, and he's going to shoot way up the board.
Yeah.
So taking somebody in round 1 or round 2, the player is going to shoot up the board a little bit. And then if more people agree with you, he'll go to the top of the round 2 board. Or if you come in and you do more mocks, you can get Corleone to go to the top of the round 2 board. Okay, so you go defense heavy. You get Styles and Corleone, and it's like you're living in a dream because I know that you love both players.
I do. Yeah, I do. What's the interior offensive line look like? I know last time we had Logan Jones.
Yeah, so Logan Jones and Jake Slaughter are here.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go Jake Slaughter here. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Okay, so love it. Styles, Corleone, Slaughter. Mm-hmm. And what are you thinking in round 3? Or round 4?
I'm looking at edge or wide receiver again. And I know my guy's not going to be there at wide receiver this time. So I do like Burke, Malik Benson. I'm a huge fan of Bryce Lance. Yeah. And then Ty Montgomery, a guy who went crazy at the Senior Bowl and didn't get a combine invite, which was shocking to me. Is Ted Hurst already been selected? I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
He's
usually going day 2.
Yeah, he's probably shot up the board lately.
And again, it's all about user behavior. So if users wanted, Ted Hurst is going to New England at the end of round 2.
Okay. Let's go with Montgomery here, just because I think he's an insane route runner.
Okay, and he's 161. Okay, so now we're doing the 8th and final mock. So We're finishing the 7th mock. The simulator will start the 8th for us automatically. It won't let us pick the same players that we grabbed on the first 7.
Okay.
So this is the beauty of Fanatic mode, but I can tell that you've got a good board. And the reason I know that is that as soon as we're getting to that round, you know who you're looking for. Like, it's almost instantaneous. You're not pausing.
Yeah.
So in this mock, so Mansour Delane's there.
Yeah, I was actually looking at McCoy, but Mansour Delane being there, and honestly, I go back and forth on who's my cornerback 1 and who's my cornerback 2 between them. I need to see the medicals for McCoy before I can put him over Delane, but I know Delane has some nickel experience, and I'm a true believer in making a strength stronger. And Carolina right now with J.C. Horn and Michael Jackson, I think they have a top 10 cornerback room between those two. So adding somebody like Mansour Delane would again be a dream for us. So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm.
And you would take Delane over Freeling based
Yeah,
upon
I
even
would based off of where I
grade
have him on
over
my
need.
board. Yeah.
Okay. So Delane in round 1. What are you thinking in round 2?
I want to look at tackle. There's a guy. I don't know if he's labeled as a tackle in this simulation. Jennings Dunker. Somebody I haven't brought up yet.
Taken by
He
Houston.
already went. Yeah. Yeah. He's an insane athlete. I think he's one of those guys that just looks like he's a great blocker. Caleb Tiernan. Again, I try to. I think
Blake
that's the guy I was
Miller is
about to ask
also
for.
here.
I was about to ask for Blake Miller. Yeah, I think if Blake Miller's there at 51, he's got to be the pick.
Okay. And Miller was 99. So
Yeah.
Miller equals 99.
Miller was a guy, preseason before Clemson had the disaster season they had. He was somebody that I was seeing going in the 20s. So I'm really interested to see how the rest of his process goes.
So we go Delane and then Blake Miller in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's look at the edge room or the defensive tackle. Romello
So
Hyde,
okay,
Dennis
so
Sutton.
Edge, Dennis Sutton, Llewellyn, Barney.
Yeah, you're reading my mind. It's probably gonna be Dennis Sutton here. Somebody again. I thought I have a second round grade on him. So getting him in the 3rd round is huge. And I think I know where I'm gonna go in round 4.
Okay. So are there and we can talk about more positions than you've drafted. I mean, we've flown through this. So for example, are any of these safeties like, do they look like value? Like Bishop Fitzgerald is there, for example.
I think Bishop Fitzgerald's one of the best ball hawk safeties in his class. He's a little bit smaller, but you look at the last 2 years. I like Cole out of Texas Tech. Cole, I can't pronounce his last name.
Wisniewski.
Yeah, Wisniewski. He's another guy. He's a thumper. And again, he's one of those guys that stood out on film for me because I was watching Bailey and Romello Hyde and Lee Hunter and Jacob Rodriguez, and then you see the safety come flying in, and he's hitting people, and he's making plays on the ball. So I think he's another guy that has a ton of value. I'm seeing him in the 200s, going in round 6. So if you can get somebody like that in round 6, I think that's good value.
Okay. And then Grayson Holton's here. That was another player you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So again, this is a round 4 pick. What's your grade on Holton?
So Holton for me is a round three guy. I think he offers some of the best pass rush ability from the interior defensive line position in this class. And again, he just makes plays. Again, another guy who I'm watching R. Mason Thomas, and I see the push that the interior is getting from Holton. So let's go with him in this round.
Okay. So let's go Grayson Holton. That finishes the Fanatic mode. So you just did 32 players in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Look at you. Okay. So you can see the mock and you can see some of the grades. So if you see an A, that usually means that somebody else has picked that player to that team in that round before, right? Because they're close to the top. If you see the B or the C grades, and we might even have a D. So like Zeke Wheatley was pretty far down. R. Mason Thomas was pretty far down. So when you see Ds, you might be the first one that's ever drafted that player to that team, period. Kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So this is you putting your board on the simulator. Okay, let's go and test the power of the simulator. So we're going to do a Seattle Seahawks mock.
Okay.
And the reason we're doing a Seattle mock is they only have 4 picks. So I only have to talk about 4 guys. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to look to see who Carolina takes in each round.
Okay.
And they should be players that you just spoke about. Like the simulator should learn that fast.
Oh, nice. I'm interested to see how good the entire draft would be for them.
Okay. So the round 1 pick was Fano.
Fano. Okay.
Round 2 pick was Brian Parker. How you liking the draft so far?
Hey, I think when I spoke on early, I said that I wanted us to get younger and cheaper on the offensive line, and it looks like the simulator wants to do the same thing. Can't be mad at that.
Round 3, they took Derek Moore. How you liking it so far?
I think Derek Moore is a guy that could sneak into the late first round. So getting him at 60, what pick is this?
That was 83. You got him in round 3.
Get him in at 83 is a huge steal. So yeah, I love this draft so far.
Okay, and I'm sitting here trying to make sure I make a good pick for Seattle. Okay, and then round 4, I didn't even see.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. It was so quick.
And I didn't see the round 5. Okay, I just saw Harold Perkins going round 5.
Yeah, they have back-to-back picks, and that's somewhere I've been in. Like when I take the PFF simulator, I've been using my 5th round pick on like guys like Coogan and Perkins. So,
okay.
Chandler
so you got Rivers and Perkins in round 5. You were able to draft Dante Corleone in round 4.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and then I got to do one more pick here. So we'll check the Panthers round 6 and 7 picks.
Okay. So far, so good, though. I couldn't be even remotely upset about these picks.
Klein, that was not one of your picks.
No, it wasn't. But I do like him. I think he's he's in my top 10 tight end rankings.
Okay. So here's how all of that works. So if you go to the team needs section of the site, what the simulator does is it has a player board for every team. And it's drafting who's ever highest when the team is on the clock. So it's a BPA algorithm, right? Just select the highest player on the draft card when a team is on the clock. So if we scroll and find Carolina and we go to their player list right here, let's go look at like where Danny Dennis Sutton was. So we'll give it a minute to calculate, but so Danny Dennis Sutton is 74th. He was 112 when we picked him.
Yeah.
Blake Miller was 99th when we picked him. He's now 57th. Montgomery was 161 when you picked him. He's 93 now. So everybody that you picked, so Corleone was a big one. He moved up to 64th.
Yeah.
Right? So if memory serves me correctly, your 64th ranked player here was selected for the Panthers in round 4.
Yep, that's correct.
Right? Now, if other people pick him and he moves up, then he won't go to the Panthers in round 4, obviously. But the more he's picked by other teams, the higher he's going to move up, and he won't be available in round 4 anymore. So I believe, Jordan, you are by far the highest I've seen on Corleone. So that was why that was going to be a good demonstration.
Yeah.
Most people at the Draft Professor, the medicals are pushing him to day 3.
That and his height, him being 6'1", I think he's like 330. So it's kind of like I comp him to Tart out of with the Chargers, but I feel like every team needs a guy that can just eat up blocks. And when I watch him on tape, that's something that he does a really good job at. I do think that the injury plague 2025 season he had kind of hurt him a little bit, because you go back again. And I can say this for probably 25, 30 players in the class. If you look at their 2024 tape in comparison to their 2025 tape, it's a drastic change. So he's another guy that didn't really benefit from coming back another year. But again, I am higher on him than most, but the Godfather. I think the nickname is another interesting.
All nickname team.
Yeah. So.
Well, Jordan, I appreciate you coming on, and I know that you watched a couple of podcasts before you came on to see what I was going to ask or how the podcast was going to go. So I appreciate that. Do you want to introduce yourself? Let everybody watching the Draft Professor podcast know who you are, your podcast, and the other content that you make.
Yeah, like I said, my name is Jordan Hahn. I'm out of South Carolina, originally from North Carolina. Panthers Pulse on Twitter, and the @'s right there. I'm just really, a huge Panthers fan. Been a Panthers fan since probably, when did I become? 2001. 2001 was my first season as a Panthers fan. I remember pre-Julius Peppers. So again, my page is just devoted to talking football, the draft, Panthers, anything that deals with the NFL in any capacity, or college football for that matter. I am an avid Duke fan as well, so I'm that's why I was really high on Brian Parker coming into the process. But then I saw him getting a ton of clout just based off of him moving from tackle to guard to center, right? That versatility is it's gonna do well for him. Another guy I didn't mention on this as being a Duke fan, it would kill me not to talk about Vincent Anthony, VA7. So he's another guy. I think he's gonna have a really good combine in a couple weeks. So another name to watch out for. But yeah, on my Twitter name's there. If you want to talk football, you're more than welcome to come over to the page. So,
well, Jordan, it's been a lot of fun, and I want to let everybody know that if this is the first time you've seen a Draft Professor podcast, if you're one of Jordan's followers, we're here talking about the draft every day. We have shows at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, there's even a bonus 11 p.m. Eastern show because we have somebody from the West Coast coming on to do Houston Texans mocks. So we do podcasts like this for every team. We do plenty of other draft content. I believe the show at 9 p.m. tonight is defensive players that fit a Brian Flores defense. So we have 80 podcasters at the Draft Professor that help contribute. We have 2 podcasts every day. We have 3 podcasts on Sunday. And we podcast on the draft 12 months a year. So if you like NFL draft content, that's who we are at the Draft Professor. Draft Professor also runs Epic Mock 26, April 9th through 11th. That is a 7-round mock draft with trades. We will have 33 podcasts going for the events. There will be 1 podcast for every team. We will also have a main Draft Professor feed. Last year's mock had 7,500 people watch it. So we are here. It is the largest internet mock in the universe. So if you're interested in that and you're following for draft content, we would love to see you stop by and say hi for Epic Mock 26, April 9th through 11th, which is 2 weeks before the NFL draft. So For Jordan, myself, for the 80 podcasters at the Draft Professor, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you on a podcast again in about 1 hour. Have a good night, everybody.